Good afternoon. I'm Tina Tasaka with Cannabis X America, and we are here at the Cannabis Banking Symposium in Bernalillo, New Mexico. Beautiful New Mexico, right, Jenny?
Completely beautiful. I love New Mexico.
Yeah, it is absolutely fabulous.
It's the land of enchantment, they say.
It is the land of enchantment. And Miss Jenny, we have met just for the first time today, and you are in cannabis banking. You actually have a consulting company, ICS Consulting, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's the name of my company.
Excellent. So you founded the company yourself.
Yeah.
You're the boss of yourself.
That's right. I'm the boss of me.
You are the CEO and the boss of yourself and the boss of the company.
Yeah, I call myself the chief lady in charge.
I like that. CLOC.
That's right.
CLIC.
You had it.
Yeah. And so were you already in cannabis when you started the company?
Yes, actually. So I got
You had a background.
Yeah, I have a background. I started in the cannabis industry in 2009 and back in Colorado. So I'm kind of what they call an OG as far as it relates to regulated cannabis. Because there's
Legacy.
OGs like California OG, but
Yeah.
Colorado OG started in 2009 working in these regulated operations. And from 2009 to 2014, I was running and managing vertically integrated cannabis operations. So in the old days, you couldn't just get a license. You got a cultivation facility and a dispensary came together. You couldn't separate them. So I was running these facilities and then helped Colorado convert from medical to the adult use market in 2014. And in 2015, I founded my company, ICS Consulting. And basically, I started helping operators navigate the regulatory landscape and compliance. And then in 2016, I actually started expanding nationally. So I started expanding right away nationally into Michigan and Maryland and all these other states.
So were you involved, since you helped Colorado become legal, did you help other states as well?
Yes.
Okay.
I was in Michigan early on, and
so
also
you helped with all the regulations. You helped with all that foundational base. You helped them get the boots on the ground and helped with that with the compliance and everything.
Well, I was helping the operators.
Okay.
I wasn't working with the regulatory agencies. In Colorado, I do actually work with the Marijuana Enforcement Division by participating in the government work groups and helping with drafting regulations and through that manner as a stakeholder. But in the other states, I was working directly with the operators to help launch their facilities to make sure they could navigate the regulatory landscape.
Did you love it?
I still love it.
Of course. No, I know. I can only imagine.
I mean, not only do I love it,
fascinating.
I've been doing it 16 years, and I wouldn't still be here if I didn't love it.
Absolutely. So did you take some of the principles from Colorado and bring them over to Michigan, or did they want to say, no, we kind of want to do it on our own, or is that kind of a trade secret, or did they sort of just want to take, and just build it from the ground up?
They actually appreciated Michigan, and also when I went into Missouri, because when I started in Missouri, they only had 32 pages of regulations when Missouri first started on the medical side. In Colorado, we have like 600 pages of regulations. Mm-hmm. Just our testing section alone is around 50 pages. And I think in Missouri at the time, the product, it was only one page. So I actually went into the Missouri market and I was working directly with operators, and I was bringing all that stuff that I learned in Colorado and saying, hey, this is going to be coming down the pipeline. As soon as that regulatory agency figures everything out and they get comfortable where they're at, they're going to start giving more regulations. They're going to start to begin to over-regulate. So I got everyone prepared kind of at a higher level in these states that they weren't at the threshold where Colorado was at the time.
So were you, you worked with the operators, but who paid you? Who paid you? I mean, who did you report to? Or were you your own company?
I only reported to myself.
Okay, so they were contracting you. You were consulting. You were in a consulting facility. You were in a consulting capacity, and I get it now.
The operators were contracting me out. But I mean, since we're here at a banking conference, I'll kind of let's connect the dots a little bit here.
Sure.
So early on, about 8 years ago, I I was meeting banks, and these credit unions were like, hey, you do auditing. Can you come help us with the auditing? Hence why I'm here at this banking conference is my customers or my clients are not only operators, but they're also banks. And I work with the banks, and I come in and I perform the third-party audits, but I also help banks with their CRB programs to build out their CRB program. And for those who don't know who that acronym, it is cannabis-related business.
We actually said it on the last interview with the gentleman that I was with, Ted.
As somebody who does a podcast,
we had to throw that out there.
Make sure I cover my acronyms here.
Yeah.
But
thank you.
Yeah, and so when they build these programs, they put all the regulated cannabis operators into this program, and they have really specific things that they do with these operators. They do it differently because the regulated operators are at a higher risk than the rest of the bank's clients. And so a lot of the other banking customers don't go into that program. It's just the regulated cannabis industry.
Fascinating.
Isn't it interesting stuff?
Yeah, it's so, well, I came from gaming, which is, I know they didn't state it this morning, but also probably one of the most highly regulated industries on the globe.
Yeah.
Okay. And so for me, there really wasn't much switch. I mean, it was really, you've got these big, ecosystems just like you do in cannabis, gaming and cannabis. So I found it to be very similar. You've got, disparate software. You've got, all these regulatory and compliance. You were always dealing with money issues. You were dealing with big lumps of cash, gaming, cannabis. So they were very much aligned with one another. So I found them to be very, very, very similar.
Well, and I think too, from the gaming industry, I think they took those regulations, and that was the framework for Colorado.
No doubt. They did it in Nevada too, for sure.
And then they converted it over to cannabis. And I think, just because I'm in cannabis compliance and work with operators, I actually work with a lot of different people out there. I work with attorneys, I work with CPAs, because there's a lot of compliance and nuances like marketing and advertising. As we know, there's restrictions, when these companies are trying to do their marketing and advertising. So there's lots of different things to do out there around compliance.
For sure. I mean, people don't realize how hard it is. I mean, if you want to just put a little ad in the newspaper or put an ad in a magazine, you just put you put your purse ad, or you put your shoes ad, or you put your deli that you guys make, that you're a bakery or something, easy peasy. Not for cannabis companies. I mean, you can't even, do a simple ad anywhere without getting it approved by the Cannabis Control Board, right?
Yeah, no kidding. And like a lot of times your accounts get shut down. I've had my Facebook account shut down. I probably had 8,000 followers. I got my page axed about 2 years ago, and I don't even touch the plant. I've had clients, their pages get shut down. Instagram gets shut down. So it is a challenge in the industry right now, trying to figure out how do I market myself and brand myself.
It's true. It seems to be even more prolific now. It seems to be the shutting down, and it just seems to be happening more and more often.
Yeah.
So this is just so fantastic now. So your company, do you have other people in your company that are also doing the same amount of compliance as you?
Yes, actually, I have one other person that I work with that helps me out in my business.
Great. So all of the inquiries that you get, and I would imagine you're very much in demand. What would you say is the number one thing that people are looking for the most? Like, what is the top thing when they need help and they're calling you? Kind of what's the top thing that they're calling for the most?
Well, I would say, actually, it's two top things. One is that they're in overwhelm, and, how do I get to where I need to go? Because I can't navigate this overwhelm, meaning I'm in the middle of launching my dispensary, and I'm hitting the panic button, and I need someone to come in and help and project manage. And two, sometimes when they're getting in trouble, getting a violation or under investigation, they're in a reactionary state, and then they want someone like myself to come in and support them through that process so they can get through it in a effective way.
Okay, so they've gotten those notifications, and now you're getting the call.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, I'm glad that they're contacting you. That's really definitely the right steps that they should be taking, for sure.
I'm glad
for
too.
Sure. Now, being in a consulting role, I know you're here at the Cannabis Banking Symposium. What are some of the big key conferences that you would go to, whereby you can connect, you can actually meet new customers or see existing customers? Is it mostly banking conferences for cannabis, or MJ BizCon, or what is for you? Like, what is the best for you that you've found where you can connect with cannabis companies?
I would say that has evolved, since 2019. Everybody knows the trade show market has definitely changed drastically.
For sure.
This cannabis banking conference actually has been amazing for me. These are my people. Like, there's a lot of different people here around compliance and regulation. So I try to look for places that are going to have regulators or attorneys and other people who are helping people navigate that regulatory landscape. NECAN and MJ BizCon is always a good time because you're going there to connect with people at the end of the year. It's kind of that celebration. Hey, we made it through a year in cannabis, and you get to connect with everyone. I don't know if I necessarily get work when I go out there. This is a better conference for what I do in my business.
Yeah.
So these type of smaller, I like the smaller conference to have less people. It's more of a quality experience for someone like me.
Yeah, and the FaceTime and the conversations are probably, they're elevated to the point where you're having those serious conversations about getting to the underbelly of what some real problems are. And, even being here in just the short amount of time that we were here, I know we've already talked about the AG letter that went out with the 32 AGs. I mean, we've covered that topic many, many, many times, so it's on everybody's mind for sure. So yeah, but definitely before we close out, there was one thing that I wanted to talk to you about. You have a podcast.
I
Tell
do.
us about your podcast.
All right. Well, the name of my podcast is Under the Microscope with Jenny. And the reason it's Under the Microscope is because I like to dive in. And since we're in an industry where all these operators are being looked at through this microscope and this magnifying glass, it is a operator-focused microscope. So I do solo episodes where I come on and talk about compliance and everything surrounding operations. I also bring on experts for security or attorneys, how to set up your business, and everything that an operator would need to know. And then I have this operator series that I throw in there where I bring on an existing operator and I have them go through their journey from licensing to getting operational and where they're at now. And I have them share what things they wish they could go back and change and what they've learned to kind of provide context for existing operators or new operators opening in new states.
How long is that series for a new operator?
They're around 45 minutes to 50 minutes.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, I would absolutely promote that all the way. I mean, that is content that is just invaluable for somebody that's starting because this business is not easy and this business is not for the lighthearted, is it?
No, and I've had a lot of the operators thank me and saying they wish that this was available to them years ago when they started. They would have loved to have the information, to hear from a real operator. And having me get up there and say things, I can only help them so much, but to hear it from somebody who's lived it and been in their shoes, I think it's better for someone to hear it from them.
Yeah. Now, for sure, we're going to put up your website and everything for your ICS consulting. How can people find your podcast? Where is it?
Yeah.
And what channels is it on so we can find your podcast and put it up for the viewers?
Yeah, great question. So if you can Google Under the Microscope with Jenny. Okay. It will automatically come up. But I have a YouTube channel and you can go ahead and check that out. It's Under the Microscope with Jenny on youtube.com. And then I am on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, and I believe iHeartRadio and Pandora Radio.
Okay, and has YouTube been nice to you? You haven't been flagged on YouTube?
No, not yet.
Okay,
I've been very
excellent,
lucky.
Excellent. There was another question I did want to ask you, going back to your practice just for one moment before we head out. Do you consult, obviously, cannabis? Are you also covering the hemp side of the business as well?
I do a little bit of hemp, like right now, my partner and I, Alex, we're preparing people for their GMP audits. Mm-hmm. So we're doing kind of that aspect. We'll come and help them prepare with all their documents. We're not certified to certify them for the audit, but we can prepare them. But that's about as much as we're touching the hemp industry right now. We're very focused on the THC side, the regulated marijuana side.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there any other business that you cross over into?
Nope, that's just about it. I mean,
you're not going to start growing cucumbers or looking at tomatoes and stuff like that.
No, but I'm not. There's a little bit of psychedelics, maybe like with the SOPs. Yeah,
that is coming.
Yeah, well, Colorado, it's going. They're licensing operations right now. I think the first natural medicine center has opened in Denver, and so it's happening. And because I think now what we've done in Colorado, we're going to start seeing it happening in other states. So they are required to have SOPs. So I can help people on the psychedelic side with more the technical compliance stuff.
I was going to ask you, what do you know about the regulatory framework for psilocybin and for the psychedelic network and for that mycology? What do you know? And do you want to bring that into your consulting practice as well and bring that in as another pillar that you can consult with?
Yeah, I'm kind of like a lot of other people right now. I'm just in my research phase. I've been going a lot to these conferences they've been having in Colorado. There's some psychedelic meetups that I've been attending. And so I am researching to find out if this is a place that I would fit into with my skill set.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to give it a solid, you don't have to give it a solid 1,000,000%. I would definitely check it out too, and see. And it's probably going to be different, just like what we've done in cannabis. It's going to be different from state to state, for sure, because there's been some early state adoption, and there's been little areas that have legalized it. Like a little township in Oregon allows it, but no other place in Oregon allows it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And so I think that you're gonna, it's gonna be a ways before it's as big time as cannabis.
Well, they can't do that in Colorado. It was written to the legislation. They can't deny a town if somebody wants to do psychedelics whatsoever. And so these local municipalities right now are meeting. You're saying, well, how are we going to handle this when somebody applies for a license and they're in our town? Are we going to come up with our own rule set? And the regulations are completely different from the marijuana side. I would say it's very patient driven. They have to take the doses while they're at the center. It's not like a dispensary where you go and buy product and you walk out the door and you're like, okay, sweet, I got my mushroom prescription or whatever. They actually, they're giving them the product while they're there, and they have to wait a certain amount of time. So it's completely different than the marijuana side of things.
That's how it is in Arizona too. Yeah. From the few clinical people that I've talked to, people that are administrating, but they've been doing it for 28 years. I mean, they are true practitioners. I mean, they are licensed.
It's very the same in Colorado. Yes. These are people that have existing clinics that they've been offering other services, helping people, and this is just one other modality that they're adding to their practice.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like a brand new center and they've never done anything. These are already existing businesses that are adding this into their service.
Gosh. Well, Jenny, you are just so fantastic. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of work out there for you, for sure. ICS Consulting, I mean, she knows her stuff. And somebody who's been in the industry for a long time. I mean, and the cannabis industry is still a nascent industry, but I would consider you an expert and, legacy, and the fact that you brought the Colorado market legal. I mean, that's a big statement.
Yeah.
And, that you really understand compliance and all the regulatory issues that you can run up against. So we'll put your information out so viewers and companies and banks and everybody can find you. I bet they already know how to find you anyway.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I feel blessed that I had the opportunity to be on the ground floor in Colorado, and it has been an incredible career, and I've enjoyed my 16 years, and I hope I can give another 10.
Oh, you definitely will. Yeah. And definitely check out our podcast. We'll put that out here too. Definitely check it out. And we're going to get back to the Cannabis Banking Symposium here in beautiful New Mexico. Jenny, thank you for coming on with us.
Thank you for having me.
I so appreciate it.
You guys are amazing.
And I'm Tina Tasaka with Cannabis X America.